A woman refuses to remove the giant werewolf from her yard. A U.S. taco chain used a fake priest to trick their staff into confessions. And groundwater pumping is actually changing the tilt of Earth's axis. These are the weird stories for Wednesday on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast in the galaxy. I have 3 weird news stories from around the world for you. Let's do it. A homeowner refuses to remove a werewolf from her yard. This story is from Ohio. An Ohio lady said she has no plans to remove a nearly 10-foot tall werewolf statue from her yard, despite getting a very stern warning from the city. She says, I don't care. I don't have to abide by your anti-werewolf attitudes, okay? This is werewolf discrimination in my community, and I don't have to fold to the demands. I believe I should be able to have my werewolf out there, and you can't stop me. I am pro-werewolf, and you're just anti-werewolf. All right, racists. This lady's name is Mary Simmons. She lives in Dayton, Ohio. She said she bought a 9.5-foot werewolf. Is it 9.5 feet, or is it 10 feet? How big is this werewolf? I need details. It was 9.5 feet, but she put a top hat on it, so now it's over 10 feet. Okay, so she's got a 9.5-foot werewolf, it seems. It's a Halloween decoration from October. She decided to leave it up all year. Because she's lazy. Takes a lot of effort to put up and down, take down, and put back up a giant werewolf. It's just much easier to leave it there. It's kind of like a Christmas tree. Some people just leave it there for a long time because it's a lot of work to drag it to the curb and take off all that tinsel. So just leave the werewolf there for next Halloween, right? She decided to leave it up all year. Obviously, the community's upset about this. I don't know why. I think it's pretty cool to have a big giant werewolf in your neighborhood. 2 of my neighbors have giant skeletons. You know, they get them at Home Depot, the giant skeleton. I think it's a 12-foot skeleton that Home Depot was selling. I wonder if Home Depot sold the werewolf as well. Such a strange thing for Home Depot to sell, you know. You got hammers, nails, carpentry stuff, plumbing stuff, electrical stuff, stuff to build a deck, stuff to build a house. Oh, and then a giant skeleton. So bizarre. Now, Mary was interviewed by the local media. She's quoted as saying, well, this werewolf has become my house mascot. I kind of look at it as a security thing, too. Who wants to break into a home with a 9.5-foot werewolf sitting outside of it? I know I wouldn't. Hey! I mean, she has a point. I mean, who's going to break into a house with a giant werewolf in front? Not because you're scared of the plastic werewolf, but you're scared of the maniac that lives in that house who thinks that, I'll just keep a werewolf out there. Mary has been having a lot of fun with her home mascot. She likes to dress the wolf in various costumes to represent seasons and holidays. Oh, okay, so she transitions the werewolf, not just Halloween. Oh, it's a Valentine's werewolf. I wonder if she dressed it up for St. Patty's Day as well. Mary said, you know, for the summer, I'm going to get a big Hawaiian shirt and maybe some sunglasses from a werewolf. The werewolf, which Mary has named Paul, strange werewolf name, Paul. God, I would have never guessed Paul. Mary says Paul has his own Facebook page with over 2,000 followers. Paul's a very popular werewolf decoration. Mary says the neighbors have largely been welcoming of Paul's presence in the yard, but at least one resident sent an anonymous complaint. Oh, an anonymous complaint to the city. Oh, you got your local Karen. She's not pleased with the werewolf. How's this werewolf? This isn't Halloween. What does she think this Mary? What does she think she's doing? Just lazy, won't take down Halloween decorations. What is it? Oh, she dressed it up like a basketball player for the NBA Finals. Can't have this. The city issued Mary a warning about her werewolf. My goodness, the city did get involved. One person is all it takes. City officials said they have no plans to further enforce the werewolf's removal at this time, though. Mary said she plans to keep Paul in her yard, and she has taken some measures to ensure his presence is safe for the neighbors as well. She says, I don't want somebody walking by and then his head falls off and then it hits them in the head. I try to treat people like I want to be treated. I wouldn't want that to happen to me, to have a giant werewolf head falling on top of me or on top of my baby when I'm pushing it in the carriage or on top of my small French bulldog. You know, my French bulldog's got problems breathing as it is. Can't then have a werewolf head falling on top of my French bulldog. Now, of course, only half of that quote is actually authentic. I took some liberties there. Also, we have a neighbor named Haley. Haley's a big fan of the werewolf. She says, well, I'm a big horror fan anyway, so I don't really mind it. I watched I watched him dress up that werewolf for different occasions and whatnot. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like to take my edibles and go stand in front of it. It's awesome. I have to say, that's the spirit. This neighbor brings a nice attitude towards this decorative object in the neighborhood. Giant werewolves are fun. I mean, let's just be thankful that it's not a real werewolf. This is the United States. People like to have exotic pets in this country. It's not uncommon for people to have lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, why not a werewolf? A restaurant used a fake priest to trick the employees into confessing. Oh, confessing what? There's been a lot of employee theft recently. Let's bring in a priest. A California taco chain used a fake priest to try to get employees to confess their workplace sins. Oh, what sins? Such as being late for their shift. Oh my! Maybe they were even smoking the devil's lettuce in the parking lot on break. And stealing fries. Well, there's probably no fries. It's a taco chain. But maybe they were stealing the queso. All right. The U.S. Department of Labor did an investigation on this. The taco chain is called Taqueria Garibaldi. I've never heard of them, but they're in California, apparently. A man was introduced as a minister at the taco chain and encouraged the staff to unburden themselves about when they may have done anything to harm their employer. There's some litigation brought by the Department of Labor. A worker testified that the man of God had urged the employees to, quote, get their sins out, asking such questions as, have they ever stolen from the company? Have they done anything to harm the company? Oh, man, this is wild, man. The owner bringing in a fake priest. Feel free to tell our visiting priest, who just happens to look like my brother-in-law. Just tell him anything you feel like you need to tell them. Yes, Father Picante residing. Have you stolen any salsa? Confess to Father Picante. Says here the operator of these restaurants in Sacramento and in Roseville, California, were ordered to pay their entire staff of 35 employees of $140,000 in back wages and damages. The court action came after an investigation found that Taqueria Garibaldi denied employees overtime pay as well. It also found managers were paid illegally from the employee tip pool, and staff were threatened with immigration consequences if they cooperated with the Department of Labor's investigation. Oh boy. Sounds to me like this is a little retaliation and despicable attempts to silence the workers, obstruct the investigation, prevent the recovery of unpaid wages. Now they have a spokesperson from the Catholic Diocese of Sacramento who told the media that the man that was presented as a minister was not connected in any way with them. Yeah, the diocese is like, look, we don't exorcise taquerias, all right? We'll come to your home. We can deal with a poltergeist. Maybe your child's head spinning around on its shoulders, his or her shoulders, theirs shoulders. We don't do taquerias and fast food joints, all right? Turns out multiple employees spoke with this fake priest who was being used to extract information from the workers and intimidate them with the holy water and various religious symbols, I imagine. It also appears unlikely that he was an actual priest, according to the Labor Department officials. Yeah, no crap. There's no priest, obviously. Now, obviously, it's not a real priest. It's a guy who bought a priest costume at the Halloween headquarters. They sell them there. They're cheap. You can get one yourself. And then they were using him to figure out if they've hooked up their friends. You know, when your friend works at a fast food place, you go there and they hook you up. They give you like extra sauces and whatever. Extra meat in your burrito, I'd imagine. As they should. As a good friend should. Yeah. If you happen to have a friend that works at Chipotle, man, take advantage. That's what I'm saying. Thankfully, in this story, some justice was doled out. This taqueria forced to pay over six figures for this. Doesn't say what is going to happen to the priest, though. I'd imagine impersonating a priest like this might be against the law. Not really sure. Anybody familiar with this sort of stuff? Call the show, 646-450-2012. What do you think? Should Father Taquito go to prison for this? He sounds like a victim himself. Yay! Oh, my underwear's too tight. My underwear's too tight. Help, my underwear's too tight. Want to create a podcast? Spotify's platform lets you easily make, record, and distribute a podcast everywhere, even earn money all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Record and edit on your phone or your computer, distribute it to Spotify and everywhere podcasts are heard. They even have video podcasting options. Spotify for Podcasters allows you to earn money with ads and subscriptions as well. Best of all, as I said, free. Try it. Download Spotify for Podcasters or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your life, man. Groundwater pumping has changed the tilt of Earth's axis. This sounds like the sound of science. Boop, 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 science. All right, let's see if I can understand what this article says because it's scientific. No doubt there's math in here. It's dealing with axes, rotations, and whatnot. Planetary orbits. It says the Earth has lost enough groundwater to thirsty human beings to measurably tilt the planet's axis of rotation. No, guys, we're drinking too much water. We should shift over to Red Bull instead. The net water lost from underground reservoirs between 1993 and 2010 is estimated to be more than 2 trillion tons. 2 trillion tons of underground water. This has caused the geographic North Pole to shift at a speed of 4.36 centimeters per year, according to researchers. The results appeared in the June 15th article of Geophysical Research Letters. Now it says here, the tilt of the axis on which any celestial object spins tends to be stable. But very small, minute changes can occur when large masses shift location inside a planet and on its surface. Every mass moving around on the surface of the Earth can actually change the rotation axis. Astronomers can track these motions in the Earth's axis by observing quasars, the bright centers of distant galaxies that constitute practically immobile points of reference. The largest axis change is seasonal and is triggered by the motion of atmospheric masses as the weather and the seasons change. This effect causes the Earth's geographic poles to wobble by up to several meters every year. Shifts in water masses can cause smaller but still measurable changes to the tilt of Earth's axis. Until recently, researchers thought that these water-driven effects would be caused mainly by the melting of glaciers and ice caps. But when this group of researchers tried to model the Earth's water content to account for how much the axis has tilted, they could not fully explain the data. Adding the effects of changes in surface reservoirs did not help either. So they scratched their head. They thought one effect must be the groundwater. Gravitational surveys measured the depletion of underground reservoirs, which is caused in large part by irrigation, especially in northwestern India and western North America. These surveys show that groundwater pumping shifted enough mass into the oceans to cause 6.24 millimeters of global sea level rise between 1993 and 2010. By including these changes in their model, the authors calculated that they should have a substantial impact on the Earth's rotation axis. They predicted that the displacement of groundwater alone causes a shift in the North Pole of 4.36 centimeters per year, roughly in the direction of Russia's Novaya Zemlya Islands. Novaya Zemlya. Novaya Zemlya. Novaya Zemlya? Ooh, boy, can't say these Russian words. I can sort of do a Russian accent, though, so let me just instruct everybody in a Russian accent to everyone, stop what you do. Go outside right now and pee on ground. We must all pee on ground, must replenish underground water, fix Earth. Yay! Hey, what's up, you cool individuals? Thanks for spending some time with the Weird AF News podcast. I know you're really cool, and you have a lot of important things to do, better things to do, and yet you took a little time to spend with me. And so I would just want to let you know I appreciate that. We'll keep the outro rather brief. I got a very horrible review on Amazon. Let's read it, because these are fun, right? This is from Kat. She wrote, she gave me 1 star, unfortunately. 1 star, man. People still giving out 1 stars for free shit. I'm just astounded. She wrote, just dumb talking. It's just dumb talking, she's saying. Excessive, unnecessary rambling. Uneducated opinions using... Oh, wait a minute. Uneducated opinion. This podcast never advertised educated opinions, Kat. We never claimed that was us, educated opinions. You show me where it says you should expect educated opinions. She said, clearly he cannot find enough material for the show, so he makes up details based on misplaced stereotypes and goes on an imaginative rant in an attempt to make it funny. How sad. I just ruined her day. Her panties were twisted, assuming she wears panties. I have no idea. And I got to tell you, Kat, though, it's not that I can't find enough material. This is plenty of material. I'm trying to keep the podcast down under 20 minutes is the goal here at the end of the day, because most podcasts are an hour, and people don't have time for that shit, man. So that was all calculated. The rest of it is, is just your opinion, which no one ever really says. No one ever, none of us would really get into too many fights if you started your statement with, in my opinion. I mean, in my opinion. Wow, all the tension goes away if you start with, in my opinion. Yeah, but people don't care. Anyways, I could use some positive reviews after this 1-star review from the legendary Kat, who sounds like a good time. Someone you want to spend a weekend with. You'll be returning a lot of things back to the store. You'll be asking for a lot of refunds with Kat when you go out to eat. Anyways, if you guys want to leave me a review, you can do it on Amazon or Apple Podcasts, also known as iTunes, and other places that I'm not sure of. But yeah, if you want to do that, that's helpful. If you want to support the show, consider buying Jonesy a coffee off my website, weirdafnews.com. It's also the place where you can join the Patreon if you want to support the show as well. If you'd like to email me, funnyjones@gmail.com is the place to do it. And the phone number here, if you'd like to call and leave a rambling message yourself, 646-450-2012. I welcome uneducated opinions on the hotline, as well as educated opinions on the hotline. All opinions are welcome here. Educated, uneducated, unnecessary rambling, necessary rambling. It's all welcome here. And it doesn't even have to be imaginative or funny.